I have done way too many of these round 50 challenges at this point. We've used pistols, snipers, shotguns, basically every weapon class you can think of in COD Zombies, but I've not done too many dual weapon round 50s. We've done the SMR and the War Machine, DSR and the Ballista, and that's about it. So I thought, why don't I take the two most iconic starting weapons we've ever had in Call of Duty Zombies, being the M14 and the Olympia, and try and get to round 50 with them. And we're starting off with Kino de Toten on Black Ops 1. I feel like it'd be sacrilegious to do a challenge involving these weapons and not do it on this game, especially considering this is where the rivalry between the M14 gang and Olympia gang begin. And of course, your boy be reppin' M14 gang. And I won't lie, it kind of feels wrong having to buy and use the Olympia, but here we are. I also gotta admit, doing this on Black Ops 1 didn't really fill me with the most confidence, mainly down to the fact that both of the guns on this game aren't really at their maximum potential, which comes down to not having Double Tap 2.0, but we move. First few rounds, I hung out in spawn and picked up both of our weapons in question. The first goal for me now was to get some perks on the go, and Jug was at the top of that list. And right at the beginning of round 6, we get Power On and Jug bought. From here, the next goal was to get Pack-a-Punch on the go, as the only other perk I really needed here was speed, and to be honest, it could wait. Luckily for me, the M14 absolutely fries zombies during these early rounds, and within no time, I not only had the points to upgrade the M14, I also had the points to upgrade the Olympia as well. And to get 2 Pack-a-Punch guns in round 9, that's not too bad. With the Hades and the Amnesia now acquired, things were looking good. The Olympia was finally useful, and the M14 just continued to be great. After returning from Pack-a-Punch, I took a detour around the map to grab our third and final perk of the game, Speed Cola. Yes, I could have got Double Tap as well, but it's kinda not great with these guns, and I just kinda thought it might be a waste of points. The following rounds were a breeze. Having both these guns upgraded as early as they were was just straight up unfair. The M14 was now a one-shot until, funnily enough, round 14, and even after this, it was still a two-shot for the remaining teen rounds. The Olympia, well, the Olympia is the Olympia. It's okay dealing damage to a full wave of zombies all the way through the teen rounds, and can keep up in the 20s, but honestly, it really shines when it comes to taking down the dogs. If you've ever played these older zombies games, you'll know the dogs don't mess around, and the Olympia cleans house pretty damn well during these rounds. I mean, the fact that it'll one-shot the dogs for quite a long time definitely helps. But yeah, at least it's good as something. The 20s are where things start to get a bit tougher. The Olympia at this point is just full on trash, but it's still good at taking down the dogs. Against regular zombies, you'd probably be better off with a spoon. However, it was now pretty good at farming points. And yes, I'm being dead serious. Points are something I was starting to need, and needing a lot of, as I was starting to run low on ammo in at least one of my guns per round at this point, and having to spend 4,500 points at a minimum every round, it's quite expensive. That's a lot of cheddar. So having the Olympia just farm points was, you know, kind of good. It gets a point there. The M14, on the other hand, was still going strong. Its damage had definitely fallen off a little bit, but it was still very capable of taking down zombies. Just a few extra bullets had to be used at this point. Round 25 starts, and almost immediately I'm struck with disaster as I take it down. I'm trying to get the zombies trained together. I go to cut through the middle part of the stage, but there's like 4 zombies charging at me from the other side. I turn back to run away, but I just get hit relentlessly by the zombies, and before I know it, I'm taking a little nap. Now, I'm not gonna lie, after reviving, I wasn't the most confident in myself. It's round 25 on Black Ops 1, and I've got no perks. Even the slightest mistake and I'm done for. There was no chance I was waiting until the end of the round for my perks, so I did the only thing I knew how to, and I risked it all. Buying Jug was definitely one of the most nerve-wracking things I've done in quite some time in zombies. Turning back and seeing a full wave of zombies come running at you and almost trap you, not fun. Yeah, not fun at all, I must admit. And it only gets worse as I buy Quick Revive. I throw down a few grenades, of which one stuns me just as I go to run past all of the zombies. And then just to top it all off, I get stuck on something on the stairs. I do manage to weasel my way out of it and just run away. So, yeah, safe to say that was probably the most stressful 20 seconds of zombies I've played in a bit, and I do not wish to repeat it at all. Getting speed was nowhere near as exciting, but once we had all of our perks, clearing out the rest of the round was easy. Staying alive, however, yeah, not so much. Round 27, the M14 is in the dregs, and well, the Olympia was buried beneath them. It wasn't looking good, and that was only reinforced later this round when I take a second down. We're mid-round, I'm shooting zombies with my back turned to the dressing room, and of course a zombie pops his dead silence and abuses me in a corner. And just like that, down number 2 is on the board. This time around, I did clear all of the zombies except one and then buy my perks. And it's a good job I did get my perks because I only went and took a third down the very next round, which is just fantastic. We're now closing in around 30. I'm on my last life, and all I have is an M14 struggling for breath, and an Olympia that might as well be a coffin. Somehow I managed to claw myself into the 30s, but I wasn't going to get much further, and on round 32, I take one more down, ending our game. Now round 32, for a first attempt, isn't bad, but I managed to get to around 40 plus with both of these weapons in their individual videos, but that was on Black Ops 2, so I ran it back. And yes, I did opt to run it back on Black Ops 2, and I had the pick of the class when it came to what map we could do this on. We could take the easy route with either Buried, Town, Dire-Eyes perhaps, maybe even run Transit and just run in circles in the tunnel, but I didn't pick any of those maps. I chose Nuketown. Yeah. Don't know why. I just did. The opening 5 rounds go as you'd expect. We buy our guns and quick revive, and just get to work on getting our way through the rounds. However, I do end up taking it down on round 5, which I am going to fully blame on the Olympia because it is utter garbage on this game without perks and Pack-a-Punch. But yeah, I took her down in round 5. What makes this down even better though is Jug was actually available. You see, at the end of round 4 / beginning of round 5, Jug spawns in, but I didn't hear this, or evidently see this, as I was just blasting music into my sound holes. So yeah, my bad. Round 6, I do actually spot that Jug has dropped after almost getting bamboozled by some zombies on that same round, and we get it bought at the end of that round. From here, it's just a waiting game. As with Nuketown, our perks and Pack-a-Punch spawn in over time, which was especially stressful with both of these guns, as they were both awful after round 5 or so, without any help from Double Tap or Pack-a-Punch, which makes for a few interesting rounds to say the least. Round 9, Speed Call is here and we get it bought, and at least now I knew that either of the next 2 drops would benefit our damage, which is honestly all I'd been wanting from round 1. Round 10, I finally get my wish as Pack-a-Punch is here. We get both of our guns upgraded, and now I can finally relax a little bit. With only Double Tap left to go until our loadout was complete, I got to slaying out zombies, and the guns in their current state were pretty good. The M14 was basically identical to the previous version in terms of damage, with it one-shotting zombies up to round 14, and the Olympia was actually usable for once, and it was even becoming my main weapon as it was just clearing out full waves of zombies with ease. Round 16 and Double Tap finally drops, and it turns both of my guns into absolute powerhouses. The M14 is once again a one-shot, and the Olympia, well, the Olympia is just a Chad, decimating wave after wave, round after round. But then on round 20, despite all of this, I take it down. Yeah, I get stuck on something, I honestly don't know what happens, but I can't move my character, I get swarmed by zombies, and I'm down. Luckily for me, I was directly next to Jug and Double Tap, so there wasn't much panic when it came to clearing out the remainder of the round before I could get my other perks. We may have had a slight bump, but things were going well. Both of my guns were still incredible, I mean mainly thanks to Double Tap 2.0 just being, you know, the best perk ever. The Olympia especially was just stupidly good. In fact, weirdly enough, it became my main gun, which, I'm sorry M14 gang, the Olympia, well, it was just slapping some ass. Zombies didn't really stand a chance with this thing, as it was quite literally turning them into powder. Even as I made my way through the 20s, when you'd expect a gun to just have a natural dip in power, it just didn't, which honestly kind of shocked me, especially when you factor in just how trash it is in Black Ops 1. but I guess Double Tap 2.0 really is that good. However, I am not that good, and around 25 I take yet another down. I'm training the zombies and I just get really unlucky with the spawns and I get forced into the garden section, and before I even get a chance of getting myself out of danger, I'm taking another dead nap. Things don't go too well for me after reviving either. We're down to our last life, but I still have confidence we can do well. We couldn't. It's round 27 and I get forced out of my training spot as I allow all of the zombies to spawn in. I go to loop back around only for a zombie to come full on sprinting at me from within the house, blocking my path and sending me down one last time. And just like that, our run was over on a measly round 27. Unfortunately, this is the last game where the M14 and the Olympia feature together. I actually think it's the last game that the Olympia was in. Maybe you could count MW 2019 and MW2 with the 725 or whatever it's called, but yeah, you know. But I did have a plan to run this one more time on a different game, and that game was Black Ops 3. The town reimagined custom map has all of the original Black Ops 2 guns, but there is a bit of a problem. The map adds a few extra areas and doors, and one of those doors just so happens to be in the bar, where you would typically build the jet gun. Now if you've ever seen me play town, you'll know I keep the bank closed, losing a speed cola, but also preventing a new path for zombies to come from. Well, in this version of town, the same thing applies to the bar. You open those double doors, and that back door also opens, pretty much ruining my training spot. But there is a workaround. Just don't open the door. Now this means we are without not only speed cola, but also quick revive, meaning we only have one life. And I have done this once before with the M14, and I got to a pretty respectable round, somewhere in the mid to high 40s, I believe. So I thought I'd just do that again, but I kept dying. I ran this about 6 or 7 times, and the best round I got was 22, which is trash. And I just couldn't beat this round. I don't know what was going on, but I just couldn't do it. And with that, it looks like Black Ops 1 will be getting a small dub today with its round 32. Which isn't awful, but, you know, it is what it is. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please do drop a like and a subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.